Hello traders, John at StockBookie.com. Today we're looking at the USO, the UUP, the GLD, the TLT, and the GDXJ. We follow the daily, weekly, monthly time frames. We use technical analysis here at StockBookie.com. If you like the videos, go to StockBookie.com, sign up for the free membership, or click down here in the right-hand corner and subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, guys, the USO daily chart, 27 million on the day. Pretty light, but we had a green day. 3 cents up, guys, power day. So, but nice rally, nice pullback. Do we go sideways or do we start grinding up again? So let's see if this was just a little relief pullback. Let's see if we get the next slingshot up, or do we consolidate down here, setting up in a bearish pattern, being underneath the 20, the 50, and the 200 MA. That's bearish, guys. Goes sideways and then slowly goes to the double bottom, and then we see if we have another pattern or a bounce. If we crack through there, 850, $8, here we come. There's some other levels, and what do I have anything? 819, that's a big level. 766. So we'll look at it if it starts to slide. If this starts to grind higher, then you're looking at 382, the 50% retrace, and the 50% fib at 968, and these little pivots. That's a big area, and plus you had the old pivot here. Gets through there, then you're most likely going into the 1019, $10 area. 618 retrace, this little high pivot. So you still have a gap fill right here around 1024 too. I love that area, guys. So you have a lot of good areas of resistance, as well as a little bit, you know, you got the gap fill here, you got the double bottom, you got this little pivot here too. Let's see what happens in the next, I want to see what happens by Friday. That's what it's usually a weekly close, next couple days. I mean, we had one little update. It's like, oh my gosh, where's this thing going? But if we get back above the 20, then we could possibly go higher, fill the gap, and continue. So let's keep an eye on the USO, see if we can throw out some more news on OPEC. But they said oil was going higher. Remember that? All right, UUP. UUP, bearish patterns, guys. Down, sideways, a little bit of pop. Get the longs on, shake them out. Down, pop, shake them out again. Now we're down here, back below all the moving averages on the daily chart. We had 212,000 on the day. We were 1 penny up. Flat day, but down, sideways, lower range, chopping around underneath these MAs. This is setting up for lower prices. I'm still thinking UUP goes to about 24 bucks, 23.80. Down here, I'll start getting, just looking at it to see if we get interested in it. It could set up for lower prices, but at this point, I want to see where these patterns are playing out. Still in a bearish pattern, still in the chop zone below the MAs. It's looking a little bit weak to me, but all of a sudden some bulls come in. We're right above bullish. You got to fill some gaps, window, gap, get above the MAs, and start marching towards this trend line here. It gets through there, then you still have great gap fills and the 200 moving average. That's a big one. It breaks through all this crap here. We're going it back to double top. Where the heck is tough? This thing's going to rip. If it gets above that trend line, let me tell you. If it gets back above here and starts going, dollar's going to rip. So keep an eye on that, but right now it's weak. Let's see if we have lower prices to come. 24.33s even in the cards. First level coming down 24, and then so on and so forth. Volume was pretty light today, but man, look at that. It just can't get going, guys. Nice trend down, back below the MAs. Oh, yeah. Got to watch for that. So, all right, let's go into the GLD. Been getting some emails on this one. GDXJ more in the JNUG, but let's look at this. So we're back down into here. I want to look at the weekly really quick. I know it's not the weekly close. I just want to see if there's any moves. So we're back. Yeah, look at that. We're below all the MAs on there. So gold's looking weak, guys. The only way, a lot of times, like, when something looks really weak, it's about to break out. So you got to watch for that. But we're holding this area. We're holding this lower trend line in here. Let's see if we consolidate sideways and start to, maybe bleed slowly towards the 114 area. That's pretty much your last pivot of hope. You got this one down in here. Then it might start sliding. But the big ones are around a 111. So, if you've been slowly trying to add longs here, that's what you're probably looking at, 111. You could even go fill some gaps down here if it comes. Remember, we broke through this trend line. That was big, guys. And we did confirm below it now. So that tells me it's a little bit weak. But I'm looking at more on the weekly chart as a technician to say, hey, I want to see a little more downside on the weekly. I don't want to see a, couple down and then pops up and starts to roar again. I want to see some follow through on the weekly. Here, let me open this up, to really start coming into here. Or I'll look for down, sideways, or maybe a little bit of a retrace back into this big area. Bulls again. Weekly chart, you got to get above these MAs, above gap fill on gold. So could reverse right up and close and no problem and start heading here. Downside, you can start easily get the 107 if this thing starts breaking down. So that's the bottom line on this, guys. Right now, you got a 50-50 shot. We're still long from the 110.60 area right in there, 68, I think it is, or 58, something like that. And that's it, guys. Bottom range, this starts going sideways. It can set up for lower prices. Watch out for that. Just go slow and steady if you're trying to average in. Gold will be up here eventually one day, but maybe not right now. Still inside this bar, though. Slightly bearish pattern. It's got to start breaking up. And, yeah, it's getting interesting on gold, guys. Let me just say that. All right, let's look at the TLT. TLT, weekly chart breaking down. Got some great support right here with this trend line and the 20 MA to 200 coming up. So we got to keep an eye on that. But let's go into the more short-term time frame, which is the daily. Let's see what we're seeing there. We got this low pivot here where it gapped up, came back, retraced, took out. That's great support there, guys, and that's where this one pretty much went to. We had a nice sell-off for, what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, stalling out, trying to get above this trend line. Even this upsloping trend line is trying to go. Bulls on the TLT, you got to get back above the moving averages and continue up. You still have a bunch of gap fills to fill, moving averages, trend lines. This thing's got to start going. So volume today was 385 or 3.8 million. Was, you know, light, not a lot. So not a lot going on. Pretty much just a pause day. Let's see if it continues sideways for more downward pressure, or do we retrace up and try to recapture areas and then maybe possibly a slight micro bullish pattern to push it up higher prices. But right now, guys, we're pretty much in the mid-range. Let me pull this one out. I want to put a bigger fib. I want to go from this one, that one. Yeah, so we have the 750 coming up. Yeah, so this could go down a little bit lower. Let's see what price action we get. Right now, we just had days down. Now we're starting to chop. Let's see if we retrace sideways, or maybe we get some more follow through, and then we'll redetermine where this TLT is going. All right, let's look at the GDXJ. And what a day on the GDXJ, guys. So it's starting breaking down on the daily. It's like, oh, gosh, here we go again. Here's your down trend line. Here's your gap window, gap fill. So it never made it there. It did fill the gap on this blue line, though. And it did come down to this little low pivot, right back up, guys. Pretty good day, 2.46% up. But you're still back below the MAs. Weak stance, down, sideways now. Needs another day like this to get through all this resistance up in here. I want to see on the weekly. Was there anything on the weekly? No, weekly, you're still back below all the MAs there, but on a weekly too, you got to recapture the 200 on Friday close, then you got to follow through, and maybe the following week get through the 20 MA close, and then you're going to get higher prices on the GDXJ, which will return, give you higher prices on JNUG. So great little reversal candle. We did come back in and fill this gap down here. Let's see if we get more follow through tomorrow like we always talk about. Man, this was a great trend line breakdown. But again, just like the GLD, guys, did it confirm on the weekly chart yet? Let's take a look. I don't think it did. No, not yet. So yeah, so if we don't close below this big red bar on the weekly and start getting down in this area, then this could be a great reversal for more upside. But we still have to wait. The pattern's still developing on the daily and the weekly. The weekly takes a couple more weeks, but if we get a good reversal this week, that could possibly either mean chopping, or if we close above the 20, that could possibly lead us to higher prices, or at least this trend line, and then we try to, you know, next level, form a pattern, try to move higher. So that's how this little game of technical analysis works, guys. All right, thanks again for stopping by, guys. I really do appreciate you watching my videos, and don't forget to subscribe down here in the bottom corner. And again, thanks. God bless. See you on the charts.